Hari Om. Hari Om. Hari Om. Hello, my friends. As you can see, we are back on the old roof in Tiruvannamalai. Came here yesterday. Luckily, they don't make it easy to travel now. It's amazing. Filling forms and filling more forms and filling more forms. Testing before traveling and testing again when arriving. Anyhow, somehow it's passed. We are here. Happily back at Arunachala's feet. Our two dogs are very happy that we are here. Leo is just lying nearby, enjoying the company. What a madhouse, this world. What a madhouse. Best is not to take it too serious. Observe what's going on and somehow find the way in the midst of all that is happening. Here, now, wherever we are, here, now, we are touching reality. That matters. And with that, I've come to a question Sharon has asked. She's a relatively new friend I met now in Switzerland. And then she went for a retreat herself, just also at the time when I did a satsang in Switzerland in a church. And after that, she was wondering whether has been missing something, whether she missed making contact with people. We don't have to think like this. Wherever we are, whomever we are meeting, if our attention is going around in the past, in the future, and some worries that we are having in the head, then we are missing the beauty of existence here, now. It doesn't matter so much where we are going. It's no point if there is something that we may have liked, after that to think, oh, maybe I missed something. When we are worrying about such thing, then we are missing the present moment. And when we are here, now, connected, then it's complete, full. And the beauty and the joy of it keeps on getting stronger. No need of spending a lot of time in one's life to wonder whether I did the right thing, the wrong thing, whether I missed something or not. When we become aware that we have missed to be consciously connected, at that time we come back and connect as good as we can. here now, and learn to let go in it. Unattached, unconcerned, relaxed. And if we live like this, then we don't miss anything. Then we can accept that anyhow, somehow, the cosmic forces, they arrange that we are at the right time, in the right place. Sometimes it's not at all to our liking where we are, the circumstances that we confront, and still we are in the right place. And right in that place, we can connect with our own divine nature, with the all-pervading divinity. And if we do that, there is no question of missing something. And even if we go to the most holy places, but with our attention we are absent, then we're still missing that fullness of the timelessness of the now. So never struggle with that. Never spend your time and energy with regretting and thinking, oh, why didn't I do this? I missed that. Then it was not the time. It was not meant to be at that place at that time. So what? Whether you are there, whether you are over there, whether you are here, you always have access to that essential reality, here, now. That is what matters, not where we are going, what exactly we are doing. And even if we become aware, oh, I haven't been connected consciously for quite a while, then even then don't waste your time regretting it, just with that dawning awareness, oh, my attention was everywhere but here, then you simply come back and relax. And here we are again, at ease, at peace. And the sense of completeness is there. Not that sense, that nagging sense, something is missing. That comes only out of our thoughts, what should be, what should not be, what I should do or should not do. We can let go of all that and be, and then deal with the present situation wherever we are. If we are not stressing ourselves unnecessarily with all that could be, then it's most of the time not difficult to deal with the present situation. Then we have also access to the creativity in us. And somehow, most of the time, it's not even difficult to deal with the situations. And even if we are in tough situations, and sometimes it's a bit hairy, then okay, we deal with that too, and it passes. And we can let go and relax again. There is nowhere to go. What we should is to come home, here, now. And then externally, if we feel like going somewhere and can go, we can go. And if we feel like going somewhere and we cannot go, then okay, we accept. It's not in the stars right now that this is happening. So what? Here, now, I'm complete in myself, in touch with that divinity, in touch with that unspeakable essence. Wherever we are, It's always possible. We always have that access. It's always there first, because without that, we wouldn't even perceive the present situation. Okay, my friends, I stop now just talking. Is there anyone who would like to come in right now already? You're welcome to come in.
Hi, Werner, it's Udi.
Hello, Udi.
I'm so happy to see you back in the place that you feel so comfortable. And I want to continue with what you have said and ask you something. I can understand, and even knowing the place where I feel comfortable, physically, emotionally, spiritually, this is very easy to understand. But for many times, you are in a place of conflict, in a place of disagreement. And sometimes the tool that probably I used is to take myself out of there, to detach from these places. But this is not the way to organize, to my feeling, the staying in this place and convert it to a comfortable or to accepted situation. Can you speak about the places that we understand that they are not comfortable, and what we can do, or what is the attitude to those places?
Of course, we will always meet uncomfortable places we would rather not be. And if it's easily possible, if it doesn't cause a problem, there's nothing wrong if we get out of it. If you know that if I'm running away and I'm just postponing, I have to come back and finish something there, then maybe it's better not to go. But otherwise, nothing wrong. If you gracefully move out of a situation you don't like, but you need not be. But sometimes it's just not possible to move out. So I'm not saying we should desperately try to avoid uncomfortable places, but we should also not think that if we are there, we have to stick it out in order to prove something to ourselves. But many times you cannot go away, and it's still an uncomfortable situation. And there, if you have the grace to remember that you can deal with it differently, then there you can turn the attention away from resisting against what is happening, resisting against how people are talking, resisting against something we simply don't like, and accept, okay, I don't need to artificially try to like it, but I can bring the attention to that essence that makes the experience possible. So it's not so that we have to stick it out at all cost in a disharmonious situation. If you can, if it's easily possible, and you need not be there, then move out of it, nothing wrong. But when you cannot move out, try not to get desperate because of having to be there. But relax, remember, okay, here now, what I really am is not affected by what is happening outside. Bring the attention back to that space. And then the not liked situation becomes a means that can help you to really dive deep into your own resources. So you don't have to run away from them. You don't have to seek them, this uncomfortable situation. But I mean, everybody is often in a situation where we simply cannot move away. And still, the situation is not to our liking. And even there, we can find the core of harmony, of peace, of joyousness in ourselves.
I can see in myself that for many times, the identification that this situation is not comfortable for me or something wrong there, I'm just aggravate everything. I'm just turning to a cycle of aggravation. And the result after that is feeling guilty, uncomfortable, and disappointed.
Yeah.
And probably places where I entered to those conflicts, where I was much more easy with myself, make me able to accept this thinking of accept it, see what happened, and everything will go on.
Right. If you can do so, if you can move out, fine. If you can't and you become aware, I'm doing it again, I'm completely resisting against the fact of what I'm experiencing, then the moment you become aware, there you can do something about. There you can for a moment just let it be, accept. Not accept in the sense that we should artificially think, oh, it's great what is happening. Simply accept this at this present moment is the situation that I'm experiencing. And even if before very strongly you reacted, once you become aware and you start to think like this and you relax, then the whole flavor of your experience starts to change. So don't waste your time feeling guilty about it, that so far you didn't do it, but just a moment you really realize, that is what's going on again. I'm in total resistance. There you have a chance to let go of that resistance. No need of punishing yourself with guilt and stuff.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to accept the ability of the painter to paint the same picture in different color and different scale of colors that is more true for myself, and probably I will be more comfortable there. Yeah. But I'm not a painter, this is the problem.
Then you paint your life in that way. It's always again similar situations, and you bring your creative beauty in those situations.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hari Om.
Hari Om. Hari Om. If anybody else would like to talk, you're welcome. Please come in. You're dirty. Nobody wants to talk? What Udi just said, it's a very natural reaction, very usual reaction, that we become aware, oh, there, I'm in my old habits, in my old patterns. I'm reacting, overreacting, become all emotional, and then feel sad about it, feel guilty, feel bad about myself, that I'm still doing that. But then when we become aware that that habit is also there, we can also let go of that habit, of not wasting our time and energy. It's enough to see, it's there. The old pattern is again active. I'm reacting, I'm resisting. The very seeing of it is enough. No need of starting to feel bad and guilty about it. And if that feeling comes also out of old habit, then we can see that also. And need not support it, need not feed it, but accept, okay, that also is there. First, my reaction was there, and now my reaction to the reaction is there. And let go of that too. All right, I've seen it, but here, now, I connect and let go. Is there anybody else who would like to come in? Please come.
Hi, Werner.
Hello, Victor.
Nice to see Arunachala behind you. I can imagine it. I can't see it. But nice to see you there.
Nice to be here.
Yeah. I'm planning of going back one day soon.
Yes.
But at the moment, life is very interesting here in Sydney.
Yeah.
We are under severe lockdowns.
Again, or
Yeah.
still?
Yeah, still. It's going to go on for at least another month and a half, probably. But anyway, it's very interesting because we can only are allowed to go out for a walk or some exercise, and it's interesting seeing the interrelationships with people and, you know, working from home, and people say, how are you going? And it's almost like I feel so good and so relaxed. But everywhere I hear, oh, it's terrible, I'm dying to get out, and this is driving me crazy. And and for me personally, I feel so relaxed. Like I'm so happy. I'm so happy at home. And admittedly, my practice, well, look, I can't say that I sit down and practice meditation because I just can't do it, because something has happened to me personally in terms of, maybe it's just a lack of understanding of the meditation practice, because I've lost a sense of expectation from the meditation. So if I were to sit down, I'm thinking, what am I doing here? Am I expecting to get something? Am I expecting to achieve something? And that's left me since I had a cathartic experience a little while back. I'm just relaxed, and I find myself, you know, at home in the garden. I just sit down, I stay still, I'm quiet, 3-4 hours, just sitting there, completely relaxed. And it's almost like that has become my practice, and I'm trying to almost accept that that is the reality of my practice, and I feel very comfortable in that place. And of course, internally in my mind, there is a conflict. Oh, you're not meditating, you're not practicing this, you're not doing that. But another part of me is, it's not that it's lost interest, it's just that because I have no expectations of achieving anything. The conflict is probably more intellectual.
Right.
Right. And I've become aware of the fact that that conflict is intellectual. And because I've sort of lost interest in many ways, I just remind myself, I feel in a really, I mean, this is actually the happiest I've been for a really long time. And it's to do with this, just relaxing. And I always remember, and I actually was sitting there in the garden today, and I said, because I remember your words, I go, even my legs are relaxed. This is great. I just wanted to share that with you because it's interesting, and get your opinion from the point of view of what's happened to me in terms of the relationship that I had with myself with really committed meditation practices and so on, to where I am now feeling so relaxed and so happy with myself. And I'm not doing any practice other than sitting still, being quiet, or walking slowly when I go for a walk in the park, and that's it. So I just wondered if you had a comment in terms of this intellectual conflict versus my current experience, which, you know, and also I can't share it with anybody because almost I feel terrible saying to someone, I feel great. I think this coronavirus is like a messenger from God. It's just slow down. This is great. I mean, you can't say that to people because people get upset with you. if you maybe you know what I mean.
Yes.
So what's your comment, Werner? I really appreciate that.
Yeah. You say you don't practice anymore because you don't have any expectations, but then you sit in the garden and are just quiet. And of course, you can say that is your practice, even if you don't sit on the ground with crossed legs.
No.
Right. What is meditation? Meditation is the process of bringing the attention back to yourself and let go in one way or another. And then there are all these paths, all these techniques to help you to do that. And if you don't feel inclined to sit down on your meditation pad, then you sit on a chair in the garden and you still are quiet. Just don't spend your time dreaming away the whole time, but bring the attention to your experience sitting there in the garden happy and relax. But then you need not do anything more.
That's right. Well, that's actually what it's like.
Yeah.
You know, I did learn a lot of pranayama, so you know, it's a relaxation not only with the body, but it's a relaxation with the breath as well, you know. And because of the practices I did, I just naturally sometimes go into quite extended kumbhaks on the outer breath without me even sort of trying to do it, but I catch myself in that space.
Yeah.
And something happens, I don't know whether this is right or not, but what I've become aware of in the experience of when I go into this external kumbhak, which sometimes goes for quite a while, it's almost like whatever thought I have in my mind when I go into that kumbhak on the out breath, it becomes unshakable. So that, and this is what I've become aware of, if I go into that external kumbhak and I don't really have much thinking in my mind, for that entire period, nothing comes into the mind. It's almost like it locks it in to that mental state in the external kumbhak. I don't know whether this is true or not. This is just my experience, but this is, when I sit and I'm quiet, this is what I become aware of, what's happening. So the mind is quite interesting. I don't know whether it's an actual shared experience or not with the out-breath kumbhak and what happens with the mind. It's quite a phenomena I find in my own experience.
Yeah, good. It's nice that this is happening. And since you have quite some experience with pranayamas, you need not go back to your regular pranayama exercise, but maybe you can try one thing. When you sit there in your garden, peacefully, happily, and then these thoughts come, but maybe I should practice, then you keep sitting there on your chair, happily, peacefully in your garden, but maybe you just, because you have already that experience, you just become aware of the breath. And with that awareness of the breath, you may relax even further. I'm doing a lot of that. In the last years previous, I was practicing sitting, and then somehow the external circumstances have arranged it in such a way that I was a lot externally active. And for some time I had a bit also that feeling I should practice more. And since I still was busy, then I just included that, whatever I'm doing, whether I'm sitting quietly somewhere or walking or doing anything, sweeping the floor, washing dishes, chopping vegetables, then include the breath in that experience, just breathing, not controlling, just breathing consciously and automatically, especially if you have done pranayamas without controlling. If you are aware of the breath, it's slowing down, it's getting deeper. Right. If you are not aware of the breath, the tendency is to be very superficial. And if you are aware of the breath without an effort, without control, automatically it's getting slower and deeper. And then when you do that, then you can think, okay, I'm practicing.
Well, it's good to know that. you know, because I do feel I'm practicing, although sometimes when I get too intellectual, I feel, oh, I'm being a bit of a fraud, you know, I'm a yoga student, but deep down, I just realized that that's not the case. And I was sort of going with that instinct, and it's good to hear that it's okay, you know, it's good, because that's what feels real to me. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, thank you very much, Werner, for explaining that to me, and I feel very happy with that, actually.
Right. And you don't have
Yeah.
to talk about the other aspect which you quickly mentioned. Of course, if people are all very worried, and then you go to them and say, oh, it's great lockdown, they will not like it. But just if you meet people and you are well in yourself, you're bringing them something without trying to talk too much about it.
Yeah, I just smile. Yeah.
Yes, that is straight. Yeah, very
Thank you so
good.
much.
You're
Hari Om.
welcome. Wish you well.
My pleasure. Thank
Hari
you.
Om. Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Okay. Is there anybody else who would like to come in right now? Okay, I come back to just that last aspect. First Victor mentioned, and then I mentioned. Actually, this is much more than people usually think. If we just are capable of resting, relaxing in our own well-being, and especially in a tough time, like Victor said, there is still that heavy lockdown. It's so long, it's extreme, what I heard in Australia, at least in some places. And of course, many people who are not used to that, not used to be with themselves, don't know what to do with themselves if they have so much time. For them, it's very tough. And then it's easy to think, I should do something. I should help people. I should go out. I should do something about the situation. And then when these thoughts come, there are always great scenarios that one is easily conjuring up what kind of good one could do. But actually, it's in the little things, in the little day-to-day things where it makes so much of a difference. If we meet somebody who is full of tensions, who sees the situation they are living in as totally tough and full of problems, sometimes just to listen to them for a moment and remain in your own well-being, not letting the others pull you in that dark place of despair where they are in, but just be with them. And sometimes just listening, saying a few words, give a smile where it's appropriate, and radiating what you are experiencing in all the little situations that we are meeting day after day in connection with people. This is so much more that one would think. This is so much more profound a help that one would think, looking at it from the surface. Just bring a natural cheerfulness along with you, and it's lighting up the day for many people, and that has an effect. It's not necessarily that we have to go out and organize food for people or whatever. If that is the calling, and if we have the opportunity, fine, great to do such things. Great to do big things if the opportunity comes and we feel that's what we have to do. But even there, actually, what is really the help, if in contact with people, we can keep the touch with our own joyous nature and be with them and radiate. That helps often people to re-evaluate their own situation, that suddenly they can see, okay, it's maybe not as bad as I thought. Are ready, at least for a moment, to relax and let go. And maybe laugh about things that they take so serious. And everybody can do that in their own way, in their own limited sphere of activities and connections with people. And it has an impact on the whole. So we need not spend our time, I should do something great in the world. Often this kind of thoughts is also connected with, I should make a monument of myself, that after that they remember me. Just felt like adding this. Just be joyous. And then in all the life situations that we are meeting, the joyousness is radiating and it's being transmitted to the people we have to do something with. And it helps them in their struggles, in their difficulties in their life, It has an impact on the whole. The more people are doing that, just that, the more it helps the atmosphere, which is so full of tension and fear right now, can change. All right. Again, I'm asking, would anybody like to talk? You're welcome to come in. Now I'm here again, and sometimes people say to me, okay, it's easy for you. You are in that holy place. So it's easy to talk for you like that. It's good to be in the place one likes to be, if we can. But we cannot make it dependent on that. I was now for, okay, only 2 months, but I was now in a place where the atmosphere is quite different. But all that I'm talking about here is also true there, wherever we are. It's nice if we can choose, and it works out, to do what we like to do, to be in the place where we like to be. And if it's possible, great. By all means, do that, be there. But no matter where we are, it's still the same principle. You can find that inner joyousness. Like Victor says, he feels so happy in spite of being in a big city, in Sydney. under a strict lockdown, and many people are getting very depressed about it. In Switzerland, somebody told me because their child needs some psychological support. The child has, from the beginning, had quite a difficult time, and they had regular sessions with a psychiatrist. But now that person told me it's very difficult to get an appointment because they are overwhelmed. The psychologists, the psychiatrists, because people can't handle what is happening and getting depressed. And so if you live in a city where many people feel like that, then of course that flavor is there and you can feel it. But in spite of that, like Victor just now told, he can sit in the garden and be very happy, and he feels very happy. And everybody can learn to not go into these dark places and connect with the self. And then you are like a beacon of light in a place where there is so much influence trying to create the darkness. And we can counteract it by simply being happy with ourselves. And that's a great job. Then we can do external jobs to help, to support. But the main thing is that we are not getting sucked into those dark spaces. And even in a place, in a holy place, so many people are miserable. It's not the place that does it. Admittedly, in some places, if we take the trouble to consciously connect, then there is more support than in other places. But nevertheless, wherever we are, actually, if we are sincere about it, we can do so. Nisargadatta was living in a part in Bombay. It was very busy. He grew up in a village, but after that he lived in Bombay, and once he established his home in quite a big building with a lot of apartments, with not too rich people living there, and outside it was noisy on the street. There was a public toilet just opposite the road, which was not smelling wonderfully. Around the corner from his place where he was, there was a street where there was one bordello after the other. And there in the midst of that place, he did his job, he cared for his family, and he did his practice and became such an inspiring force for so many people. Okay, again I'm asking, does anybody like to come in? You're welcome. Victor said that he cannot see Arunachala, but he can feel it. I thought a moment, maybe I can show you Arunachala, but I see that there are so many branches grown now. It's hard to see much. So with the camera, I couldn't catch Maybe I'll make a bit space that it can be seen better again from here.
Hello, Werner.
Hello, Nelly.
I'm happy to see you again on the roof.
I'm happy to be on the roof.
Yeah, it's wonderful that you came back home. I appreciate so much that you remind again for being at ease and peace in ourselves, because I see how strong this habit to be in tension.
Yeah.
And if someone tells something sad or some problems, it's so natural that that reflection to get tense inside, to feel bad. As far as I remember myself, I always saw it in my parents, in other people. Yes, it is a very strong habit, and really it's so important to how you say, to help light forces in any situations, to support it, but don't increase darkness by feeling so bad. Anytime I remember it. Yes, and I want to share. I began. I learned to be conscious in my activity, and some days ago I observed how my mind works when I began to mow the grass, and I saw in my mind a lot of thoughts. I had desire to do it more quickly, and all other thoughts in my mind that then I will do this thing and that thing I should do, and a lot of thoughts. And I asked myself, okay, if you do all of these things, will you be happy then? And I understood that no, it doesn't make me happy if I do all these things. Anyway, something will be missed. I should be happy just now. Here now I should be happy, and then I can do whatever I want, whatever I plan. And every time I've tried to ask myself, where am I? When I see a lot of these thoughts come or emotions, I asked myself, where am I? And tried to connect with myself. I see that this helped me to return in here and now, because it's difficult for me to absorb breath when I do something. It's not easy for me, but this question was very helpful. Yeah, so I just wanted to share this.
Yeah, nice. That is very important, that when you hear people talking about their sorrows, then somehow there is a false thing put in our mind, and it comes, we have been brought up like this. It comes from the conditioning that we have, that when we see somebody who is not happy, who suffers, that somehow we have to be with them and also suffer with them. But
yes. Otherwise, we are bad friends, or we don't feel their sorrows. Yeah.
And that actually is simply confirming the suffering of the other person and strengthening it. it's not helping them, even if they may
Yeah.
feel superficially a bit comfortable that the other one feels sad about my sadness. It's encouraging them to remain in that suffering space, in that dark space. But if you see that you have that tendency, if you see that is about to happen, that you can consciously not let it happen, not do it, but okay, so now center here in myself, now, timeless. And then you can connect. And from there you can still actually even better see the tensions and the sadness in others, but not get sucked into it, but connect with it, and that helps them to let go easier.
Yeah. Yes.
And when you, of course, certain activities where we need not concentrate very much, there may be the habit, because most of the time people do that when they do work which need not a lot of intellectual work, not much of intellectual activities, that then they have the habit of just dreaming away during that whole work about doing this, doing that, and so many things. And that is good that one learns to see, okay, I'm doing this job, but my mind goes zoom, 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 and learn to be there with whatever simple thing that you're doing. Like mowing the grass.
Yeah. Yeah. I learned it to do it. Yeah.
Very good. Continue like that. That is
Yeah.
good.
Thank you very much, Werner. Thank you.
You're welcome. Hari Om. Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Anybody else?
Hello, Werner.
Hello, Moksha.
Hi, man. Oh, I try to make, yes, that you see me. Yes,
Right. Now I
here
can
I am.
see you.
Oh, so happy to see you in Tiruvannamalai.
Yeah, it's great, isn't it?
Beautiful. I have a practical question. How is it in Tiruvannamalai? Is there also lockdown or problems of now you arrived? Is it easy to be there?
Quite easy. There is still a partial lockdown, like the holy places are locked. They are closed three days of the week and open 4 days of the week for some time. You wonder how much sense this makes, but that's. But otherwise, there is again a lot of activities on the road. People moving about. Supposedly they should wear the masks, but they usually wear it mostly when the police is around, and then they take it off when they are not there.
Also outside you need a mask.
Yes. Well, obviously you should, and some people have it when they drive around with their bikes, but many don't have. But if you enter shops, they should, and some do, and some don't.
Okay. And are there tourists in Tiruvannamalai? Can you book a room or something, or is it all closed? Do you know?
No, you can book a room. Actually, this is most of that is private, and people wait. They are eager that people would come, because they haven't had much income like this in the last 1.5 years. So they are previous, when it was overrun in winter, they just outrageously went up and up with the prices, and now they are offering prices for quite a reasonable price.
And are there some tourists also, some in Tiruvannamalai walking around?
Not much. Most of those who are here have been maybe in other places in India, but they don't give so far. They don't give tourist visas. They're talking about maybe opening up in October.
Okay.
But it's not the first time they're talking about. They had dates like this and then it never happened. But there is again talk that they might open up for tourist visas in October.
Because I still have a 5-year visa, but it's not
It's
valid,
suspended.
I guess, eh?
It's suspended right now. And if they open up the tourist visas, then it would be valid again.
Okay.
Right. They would make you fill up forms and do all kinds of funny things. But if you have still a running tourist visa, that would work again once they open.
It's a funny thing, right?
Oh, it's
Yeah.
totally crazy. It's totally crazy.
3 days open, 4 days closed, you know, no sense, right?
No sense.
But so you managed.
Yeah. And anyhow, for us, once we are here, we are a bit out of the whole thing.
Yeah. So it's easy there, huh?
Yeah. No problem. In the village, there around, they behave very normal. Yeah.
And the flight also, they are going flights to India.
Not regularly. Not regularly so far. They haven't really opened up the really commercial flying as it used to be. Then there are some planes going, and they make it a bit difficult. But yesterday I was very surprised because usually the planes were flying around half empty or more empty, and yesterday it was packed. Both from Zurich to London and from London to India, but it was maybe a handful white people, and the whole plane was full with Indians who live in the West, who now take the opportunity that's a bit easier to go and visit their relatives.
What did they do with that's the last practical stuff. The prices of the flights, are they extreme expensive or is it normal?
Now it's again normalized. First they made horrible prices for the people who wanted to repatriate. But now the prices are quite as usual. Yes.
I hope we can see us live again in Tiruvannamalai.
Yes, that would be nice.
Yeah. Hari Om, Werner. Thank you.
Hari Om. Hari Om. Okay, now we have been about practical questions of traveling to India. That's also all right. Also in a satsang. Is there anybody else who would like to come in? Hello,
Werner.
Hello, Dayal.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see
I
you.
want to ask you that on the last retreat, I find out my mistake of observing the respiration. Going to ask to observe in this area, in nose area,
Yeah.
just feel sensations, how breeze come in, go out. But I have the habit to breathe with my belly, with my stomach.
Yes.
And when I try to breathe in, observing here,
Yeah.
then I change my habit. I start to breathe in kind of this side of chest.
Yes.
And it was not natural for me, and it bring to me the habit and a lot of thoughts. And when I come back to breathing in the belly, it was more natural for me. Kind of less thoughts, more grounded in the body. But still I try to come absorb this area.
Yeah.
And I find out I have to make it very soft, very relaxed, but still natural.
Yes.
And I still try to find my way, playing with the breath, and to find very natural way of breathing, which is not easy for me, as I find out.
Yeah.
So can you comment it, so how you do this, or how you advise absorb respiration?
Yes. Like in the Goenka tradition, they do that when focusing on the breath, being aware here, because there you can feel the flow of the air. And after all, it's not important where you are focusing. And then if you focus in this point, it's simply that somehow when you focus on this part of the body, you have the tendency to breathe simply up and not in the belly. And you can consciously work on that. You still breathe in the belly and can still use that help, that technique. But it's not so important where we are focusing. It's more important that wherever you are focusing, it helps you to be in touch with life now. So, and the focus on this point or any other point helps us to go less rummaging about with our thoughts. So just keep on consciously reminding yourself to breathe the way you feel is the best way to breathe. Even if you do that, focus on that point. And then once that habit is broken, that this means you should be up in the lungs, then it will become easy again. But it's also good, just about the breath, it's also good to breathe with the whole lung. It's good to breathe in the belly, but then you can still feel the upper part also. It's not either down or up, but both.
But I find out very important to learn to breathe very superficially, very soft. Breathing can bring more deeper experience. What I find out is myself.
If you breathe not deep, but just slowly, gently breathe a little.
Yeah.
That's what you mean.
Yeah, that I mean, yeah.
Yeah, okay. But then if you do that, it's fine. But then you breathe quite slowly, I think, if you do that. Not that you start to quickly breathe superficially.
Slowly, of course, slowly.
Slowly, right. Yeah. Then breathe as it feels good for you. And if it feels better to breathe in the belly, then breathing in the upper lung gently, then stick with that. And when you see, because you're focusing on this point, then you just start again to breathe the way you basically feel better about it. Nothing. And as you said, everybody has then to find their own way. What helps best, how it helps from that level most, that we can detach on an agitated mind and just be aware in the now and relax in that. Conscious breathing helps to relax, but then we should not be tense about breathing. So it's good that you breathe the way you feel is right to breathe. Even if you focus here, that you learn to do also that, to breathe the way you feel is right to breathe, and not because of this concentration change that.
Yeah, I have to practice more. Try this. Okay,
Yeah, yeah. You don't think you don't feel it's an obstacle that you are focusing here, that you are doing again that vipassana type of practice, briefing. I'm asking you now, it's not,
You ask me,
I'm asking, it's not that you feel it's like an obstacle focusing here.
on the some courses, when I
Oops.
try to observe here,
Sorry, Dial, the connection
it feels
is somehow
to me
not good. I don't
it's
know
more
whether you hear
close
me.
thoughts coming. When I in the belly, yes, I can hear you, yes.
Yes, I didn't hear much of what you just said now. I don't know
Okay,
whether
just
it's here or it's there, because I know that here the connection since yesterday I have observed and it's very fluctuating, but it seems it's all right again. Can you say the same thing once again?
Yes, I find out when I observing here near the nose, I somehow close to the head, to the mind, to the brain, and more thinking process coming. When I in the belly, I'm far away from the head, and less thoughts come in. But Goenka said you have to learn, observe a very soft and very small point. When you observe belly, you observing big part of your body, and you cannot make it very soft and very small area to observe. So that's what I feeling kind of difficulty of me.
But basically you like to continue to do that.
I like to observe breathing in the belly because I did it many years before and I get used to it. But when I learning to observe here, I see it gives me more attention to the body, to the deeper concentration it may give if I'm relaxedly do it, not try to change my habit of breathing, not try to kind of get tension in the head. So that's what I feel.
Yeah. But you're not quite clear whether you want to continue using that point or not, or are you decided to continue?
I decided to learn, observe respiration here as well as here.
Yeah.
Because why I cannot do it here? It's very normal, and Buddha was speaking, observe near the nose. Why not? So I want to learn this also, and I see it gives some benefit as well. So it's more difficult to me, but I want to do this and learn to relax in it as well.
Okay, then continue, but breathe at the same time as it feels the most natural for you.
Yeah, that's what I'm learning.
Yeah.
Learning breathing naturally.
Breathing naturally, even if you focus there, that should not really be an obstacle. It's also, you said, then when you're focusing here, you're closer to the mind. The mind is not somewhere locked in our brain. The mind is not a place. Mind is just thoughts, and of course thoughts have are connected with a lot of activity in the brain, and yet you cannot really say the mind is in the brain. Mind is just the mind. So it's also a bit out of the conditioning that here you are closer to the intellect than when you are in the belly. But it's not, I mean, you're not closer to the mind. It's not closer to the intellect. It's just something that we assume because all that we have heard about mind and brain and body. So you can very well focus here, breathe in the belly, relax in the belly, and then it's relaxing the whole rest of this manifestation too.
Yeah. I will learn this as well.
Yes, good, great.
Yeah, thank you. I wish you good time in Tiruvannamalai.
Thank you,
Really,
thank you.
thank you, Werner.
Hari Om, Hari Om.
Hari Om. Hari Om.
It's good to remember the techniques. They don't have any other purpose but to be a help that we can dive deeper. Of course, there are techniques that if you practice that technique, you develop an ability and they are being practiced for that purpose. If somebody wants to do that, then that's fine. That's their idea. And then they want to realize it, that idea. But if you use a technique with the intention that you have something that can help you to become more self-aware, then it's always good to remember that it's just a crutch for the mind. It's not a purpose in itself. And so everybody can pick up inspiration, maybe from different sources, and then find their own way how to do it. Remembering, it's not that they have to learn the technique, get better in the technique, get better and better and better, become an adept in the technique, but use the technique as a help, because it's easier with certain helps like this to focus in the timeless now and relax in it. If we have nothing to hold on, if we can naturally just relax in the essence, in the self, then that's great. But it's not so easy for most of the people. And so a technique helps. Focusing on something, it's like if we focus again and again and again on something, it becomes like a gateway, and it's like behind the external form of the technique, you are there, right there. So it's good to find something that helps and then learn to do it, that we don't have to give much attention to the technique, but use the technique just to make it easier, because it's easier to focus and let go than when the attention goes all over the place. It's not so easy to just abstractly let go of that. And what is natural for one person is not natural for another person. Not necessarily. Yes? Is there anybody else who would like to come in? You're welcome.
Hello, Werner.
Oh, hello, Ron.
I have a question regarding Amma teaches a meditation technique that's called I am.
Yeah.
I am. And in that technique, certainly there is an aspect of mindfulness to it.
Yeah.
But there's also a part of it where one focuses on different, and so I've done that technique, and it's okay, but I don't really experience any special activation of these various centers. And and so to me, it's a little more than just mindfulness.
Yeah.
And so my connection might be a little weak. I'm not sure, my internet connection. But I'm wondering if you could talk a little bit about that. Do you feel that these techniques are helpful in moving energy through different centers of the body?
Right. It is certainly helpful. I'm not saying that it's the right thing to do for everybody. You must have to have a bit an affinity with doing such things and like to do such things, and then it helps certainly. But if you don't have a feeling that you rather think, oh, what should I do this stuff for, then it's not the right thing to do. But it doesn't matter whether you focus more on consciousness or more on love or more on energy. All the three aspects bring you back to yourself. And if you are more yogic kind of type, then naturally you will connect with energy and do this kind of energy exercises easier and with joy. But if you don't feel like that, then it's not that we have to do that.
I mean, I think that sometimes, like some people, for example, our energy might be stuck in different areas. For example, one person gets a headache, or other people get a nervous stomach, or that type of thing. And so I wondered if when we focus on these different areas, is that helpful in unlocking stuck energy?
Not in the sense that you should focus on that and then get stuck into that place. Then it's better that you observe it, but then come back rather to the places where you feel okay, that you have a place where you center easily, and then from there you observe that point, that place where it hurts, where energy is stuck. Go in, but come back and relax. Not so much go into it and try to undo it, more like relax the whole rest. That is easier to relax, and then this place also. It's not that you have to try to somehow shut it out. Be aware of it, but then be aware that the whole rest, or most of the whole rest of your psychophysical manifestation is not like that space, and relax that, and then you can also easier relax the zone where the trouble is.
Okay. Thank you, Werner.
You're welcome.
Hi, Werner.
Yeah, I just go off 1 minute, coming back. I'll be right here, huh? Okay, there I am again. Hello.
Hi. It's just related to that last question. So would you do the same thing if you're sick or you're not feeling well? I was just sort of started to wonder about, you know, you were talking about stuck energy, and it's best to just relax the whole body rather than to necessarily try to unstick the stuck bit. So what happens if you're, you know, if you're sick or you're not feeling well? Do you suggest hello?
She also wants to show that she's happy that we are back here. That's our little shy Jasmine, who is extremely happy that we are here. Okay, sorry for the interruption.
That's fine. So when you are sick, is it the same thing, do you think, that just focus on relaxing and being present, or is there a way that you can more actively, do you suggest to more actively try and heal or address whatever the imbalance might be?
Right. I mean, there are all these different ways that help, all these different techniques like visualizations and special briefings and all that. And I'm not going into that here. I'd say you should do this. If you have an affinity, if you feel attracted to this kind of techniques of visualizing light and doing this thing, then certainly it can be very helpful. But the other aspect that you mentioned, whether it's just being aware of it and relaxing, I think that is really important, no matter what you are doing. Anyhow, you can do simply that, be aware of the not well-being in the body and just consciously breathe and relax, and gradually it's bound to improve. But if it's easier for somebody, or somebody feels attracted and hears about a certain way how to deal with it with other techniques on top of that, then by all means you can do that. But then at the same time still do that other aspect of consciously relaxing. I think that's the main aspect how the body can heal itself. The diseases come because we have a lot of tensions in the body, and then if they are there for a long time, they start to manifest as diseases. And the more we can be aware of it and relax, that's the best way to open that the body can heal itself. And it helps also, I mean, I was talking now about diseases that really go deeper. Then superficially we can attract some kind of a cold or so, and the body also doesn't feel very well. It's not necessarily because we had a lot of tensions in the body that this cold came, but if we are then not getting tense and just watch that and relax, it goes very quickly. It comes, and the body, if we'll relax the body, is very strong in fighting against invasions like this. But you can do visualizations, you can do special energy practices, you can do affirmations. Many people do also affirmations that they tell themselves how they are healing. If that helps, if you feel attracted, fine. I'm not going into techniques. Whatever you're doing, at the same time, still see what's going on and relax.
Yeah, great. It's there's been a lot of research actually about just meditation and yoga as well, but yoga with meditation in particular, how it people heal from all sorts of things from just practicing meditation. So, yeah. So just the practice in itself. I suppose I've had yoga teacher trainings and stuff. So sometimes I find, you know, doing certain things to help get back into balance very helpful. But yeah, I totally agree with you that I think the main thing is to keep the general practice up and that feeling of awareness.
Yes, and the relaxation.
Relaxation is important.
Right. Especially with the healing yoga, that I'm sure there are asanas or different asanas in connection that have a specific effect in a particular part of the body. But if it should have the full healing effect, the relaxing part is at least as important as the asana itself.
Yeah, I find breathing very helpful. Breathing
Yes.
with the asana.
Breathing with
And
the asana, and then after the action, stop in a position where you can easily relax, and after the action, let the reaction really take place in the body, in the psychophysical manifestation.
Thanks, that's really interesting.
I had a very nice yoga teacher from the beginning when I was 14 years old, and he was doing the asanas always with the breath, connected with the breath, consciously breathing. When you do this movement, you breathe in. When you do that movement, you breathe out. And then after all the asanas, there was a pause and the moment that one really feels the effect of the asana. And sometimes he added that he consciously was making a suggestion that a particular part of the body is improving and is getting healed, or also mental suggestion how to develop willpower. So it was always based on the action, and then stop, relax, and let the reaction really take place. And this was very helpful. After that, when I continued practicing this basic principle, I always was integrating that in whatever I did in my practices, which was very useful, very helpful.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing, for telling us that.
You're welcome. Is there anybody else who would immediately want to come in?
Hello, Werner. Here is somebody.
Here is somebody.
Yes.
Hello, Muksha's friend.
Hello. Yes.
It's my ex-wife.
Your ex-wife, I see.
Yes. We have two sons together.
Ah, yeah.
Boys. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never spoke with you, but sometimes I watch you here.
Yeah.
So we don't know personal, but really I enjoy it with you.
You're welcome.
And, there is a question about these energies from other people or outside, or because what I feel from the meditation or in the meditation, like my body and the form of the body gets more transparent somehow.
Yes,
It's
yes.
more soft and more like energies going through, and like not this strong form anymore.
Yeah.
It's just very nice, feels very relaxing. And on the other side, I feel it was always difficult for me to have a clear space for myself, or some so when I meet people or when I go out, I have the feeling I straight pick up everything, like
Right.
and or I lose my inside very quickly.
Right.
Yeah. So the idea was, or I asked someone, he said, you have to strengthen your energy, your own, like in meditation.
Yeah.
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 Maybe you have, I don't know.
Of course, it's happening when you are practicing, when you are meditating, then you are getting more sensitive. And then you will easier catch energies, positive and negative energies. And so when you go through a crowd, then it's easier to pick up not so friendly energies from all around. Now, one question, do you have in your body a center where you feel most naturally, most easiest centered?
It's in my womb.
Sorry, somehow the sound is not coming.
Womb?
Now you feel easiest centered there, right?
I
So,
feel my womb. I feel very much in myself. Like,
yes,
yeah.
good.
Mhm.
Then just cultivate that to feel centered physically. That when you practice, and also when you get up from your practice, whenever you remember, you center. And the stronger you become with feeling centered in this place and can relax, the more you become transparent, but in a sense that even when negative energies come into you, they go also right out. They don't stick there. Then even if you go through places where there is a lot of energy that it is unpleasant and unhealthy, then it doesn't stay in your system. Or whatever little bit that stays after that, when you withdraw in your own space, you just relax and center and it goes out of your system. That is the rule of thumb. The more you can center consciously, instead of being afraid of the energy that comes, that is not wholesome, but the energy that is agitated and not very healthy, then the more you center and can relax, the more as it comes, it goes right out of your system again. Then if it's sometimes too strong, you have also the right, like you feel that energy is coming and it's like you give it a push and out of my system. Go.
Not to keep everything, not or to receive all.
What do you mean?
I mean, it's not necessary to receive everything.
Right. If you feel there is something that is really, you really don't want to have anything to do with that, then you can also, like something that comes physically to you, you push it away and say, no, I don't want, go.
Also, I heard that people say, yeah, maybe you have also like energies in my body. They are not belong to me. Like they make difficult. That's my own space to hold. Can you say something about this?
Right, it is possible that we are locking energy that doesn't belong in our system, that we are locking it there. But the more you learn to relax, the more they have to go again. It's somehow, it's because we get tense about it, then they have something to hold on. But if we are letting go, then they don't have a wall. Then they are there, but then if you let that thing that which they can hold on, if you let that go, then they also have to go out, because your own energy is stronger than the energies that come from outside. But if we get tense about it, then we always give energies that we basically don't want, that are unwholesome, then we give them a chance to hold, to stay with us. And if we are afraid of them, also we give them more of a chance to stay with us. If you say, okay, I don't like to go there because all these energies, but I still go and go courageously and centered in yourself and relax, not tense, oh, maybe these energies, they are going to do me some harm, but you are relaxed. Then they have nothing to hold on to. And it's not that you have to say too much like of psychic operations to operate energies out of your system. But when you're aware there is something there, it's not good. Just center and relax. And then it's bound to leave your system. It cannot stay. But having your physical center and come back to it again is very, very helpful. And it's not that you are more there than anywhere else, but it's a very helpful reference point for our conscious experience, for our mind. And the more we're using it, the stronger it's becoming. When you practice and when you're not practicing, but you remember to center, you center and relax. And the stronger you do that, the less you are being affected by the energies. Your own energy is getting stronger, and whatever energy still comes, just goes through and doesn't leave a trace. But then it's always good that you have your own space. You can come back into your own space, and there you practice again, and whatever still is staying there, still is resting there, then by in your space without all those influences or much less of those influences, then whatever is still stuck can easily disappear again. The magic formula: center, breathe, relax.
That is good to remember.
Right.
Yeah.
It's
and
easy to
feel-
remember, easy to practice wherever you go, and it's very effective.
Yeah, I can feel it already right now.
Shall we leave it at that? Okay. Hari Om. Hari Om. Okay, let's stop the official satsang for today. I'm going to turn off the recording now.